Thank you, Daryl. Minister for Trade and Industry, Rob Davis. Minister Zogwana for Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestries, Deputy Minister Mam Tabete, the Chairperson of the Committee, Horace John Fabs, our sponsor, Bobby and the whole FNB family, the ambassadors, high commissioners and ambassadorial corps, business leaders, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for joining us this morning. I want to thank our sponsor for the morning, which is FNB. These engagements are pretty important for us because they create a space for interaction between business and the policymakers. So as a Progressive Business Forum, we would like to assure you of our commitment to create the space wherein we facilitate these conversations and make sure that you have time to interact and to clarify issues that you would like to clarify, and also raise suggestions and proposals directly to those who are involved in the policy-making processes. When you look at our headlines and the media, you tend to find a lot of negativity. And I think it's always important to find space to sit down and also listen to a lot of positive work that is going on. The Chinese saying goes that a noise of one falling tree is louder than the million trees that are growing. So you would notice from here that there's a lot of work that's being done at the back when not everybody is noticing. A few days ago, we went on a conversation with the automobile manufacturing sector, and they gave us a whole lot of exciting stuff about how they want to expand the industry, how they want to deal with financing black industrialists and so on. And ladies and gentlemen, the man who's leading all of that work is this minister. And I think it's important for us to be able to say and acknowledge that work, because that industry, one of the reasons why we thought let's go out there and tell the story is because they were the ones who were saying that the way they work so well with the government, meaning minister and his department and those associated, they actually were having a long-term, horizon where they are making plans to invest a lot more money, and they're quite excited with it. I think you have heard how from the Department of Trade and Industry led by the minister, there's a whole balance of incentives and the regulatory framework that helps to put the program of industrialization in place. Now, when we talk about the whole issue of radical economic transformation, at the core of it is the creation of black industrialists. And this, you have heard, the minister that is spearheading that program is Minister Rob Davis. And again, I want to commend Minister for that, because at the end of the day, we want to see a lot being done by the entrepreneurs who have developed and gained a lot of experience in the past 23 years, coming from the largely marginalized black community. And this for us is a very important issue. The only matter that we discussed quietly is that we had the number was 100 industrialists. 100. Yes. 100. But the point is that we have to start somewhere and move on. From where we sit, we believe that we need to really push the numbers up. But it's got to be driven properly. People must show themselves out there. What I like, we want to see the people on the job. We don't want someone to stand there and fold their arms and then sit there in a board meeting and then they give you a kind of a director on such a place. They've got no clue what is going on in that company. We don't want that. We want people who are going to sit there and create stuff, bring new ideas, new technology, exert yourself, be there. That's the issue. And I like the point, again, the minister is making. If we don't, at this point, go radical in the way we introduce new owners new operators, new experience, new skills, new talent, we're actually going to widen inequality so badly that our entire democracy will be at risk. And that is what we're solving. And it's got nothing to do with fighting with the private sector. No, it's helping private sector to say the future belongs to a much broader base, more competitive base that will make South African economy even stronger when it's based on a much broader base of ownership and changing systems, such that the systems that operate our economy are able to make a lot more people to be able to participate and to be able to make a difference. And that for us is a major issue. And the second issue that he has raised, which I think is also very important, is to say, South Africa, if we think we're it, must just think again. Africa is it. That's where we need to be focusing. And it wasn't for, just for fun that the rest of the African continent decided to join hands in fighting for decolonization of, our country. Somebody thought that, colonization was good for us. If it was, we didn't have to fight like this. But at the end of the day, what was important is to understand that our future as the African continent is intertwined. You are not going to ever grow significantly unless you set your sights out there. It means, again, being ready to collaborate with entrepreneurs, investors, and industrialists in the rest of the continent, where you're going to be offering on a complementary basis the best that South Africa can offer and the best that the African regional market can offer. That's the combination that you need to put together. Now, what is causing us a problem in South Africa? We've grown up from apartheid, so we know that government is there, business is there. This thing of being apart all the time is what's ruling, our minds. At the end of the day, we're not going to compete with anybody. We need to operate as one unit. When government goes there, business goes there, the banks go there, everybody goes there, and we go into one place, hand as a pack, as South Africa Inc. That's what we need to do. And that, for us, is where the real future goes. Now, you can't go and hunt as a pack in the rest of the continent, and here you're keeping your ownership completely white and a small group of people, and you don't open it up. We have to open up here so that we are able and are compatible with the expansion into the continent. That's what it's all about. And therefore, people need to understand this is a time to do it. If we lose this opportunity, you're going to find that a large number of South Africans are completely excluded from this rapidly unfolding revolution ahead of us. And we still may not win it if we have not moved. But what's important is to be able to ensure that technology is something that we are embracing, but the whole digital economy starts now with us ensuring that those kids who are growing up there, they mustn't have a difficulty understanding, all these technological platforms. They must be able to grow within that space so that they are able to get, to be creative in new solutions that they can provide themselves. So where we sit, we are sitting here on this weekend and the whole of next week discussing new policy proposals. These new policy proposals are about putting some of the issues that you raise with us and feeding them through this discussion to say what is best for the South African economy so that we can make a contribution to the whole regional economy. That's what it is all about. So when we go through this particular discussion, yesterday we had the Minister of Finance here, Malusi Gigaba, and he opened up on a number of issues. Now we need to see all of these matters that are being discussed and being processed within government, and the ideas and the policies that we're going to be proposing from here, all of them coming back to filter into a conversation across the whole spectrum of South Africans, in particular those in the private sector. We will be having more of this conversation for the rest of the week, but the issue is that South Africans need to be in a conversation of how we're going to build this economy. It can't be built on the same basis that we inherited in 1994. It's got to change. If it does not change, it means we've actually shortchanged our democracy, because our democracy has to be a platform for creating new and more opportunities for those who never had them. But it means that the patterns of investment have to change. Now, at the moment, the issue that's being raised is about how we're not investing in our own economy, and how there's a lot of externalization of investment initiatives, big South African companies going all out, investing offshore and so on. While we may not say much about the decision they have to make about their own investment, but there are some who are already thinking, well, never mind, you don't have to do anything here. They'll go over and invest somewhere else and not necessarily have their biggest base being South Africa, as it were. I think the point that's important for us is to say that South Africa has got a lot to offer as part of this whole African regional economy, by way of its institutions, and it's the level of advancement of its, a number of, institutions, academic institutions, legal firms, there are, audit firms and banking infrastructure and all of this. And these are a very strong contribution that we can make to the development of the whole of the continent, because a number of companies now are actually operating throughout the whole continent. And in the process of doing so, this is actually helping us to be able not only to find new markets, but also to help to upgrade a number of systems as we move along. But there's a whole new culture of doing business, which we need to understand as well, that when we go there to invest in the rest of the other parts of the continent, we're not just going there to extract like the colonialists used to do. We're going to go there to build together with those who are in those particular African states. And so it must be the same culture here that we must do everywhere else we go. So that for us is an important issue. We as the ANC are ready to always play that role of assisting and facilitating that there must be a better understanding between ourselves and those ruling parties in the rest of the continent. Simply because of our history, we've got a lot of respect with one another. Most of these countries in the continent have actually hosted the African National Congress. Not just hosted, they were part and parcel of the fight against apartheid. So as far as everyone is concerned, this is their country. That's why you, for example, will see a lot of people who are moving into South Africa. What's the difference? At the end of the day, this is one undivided mass of land. Sometimes we hear that our great-grandfathers came from the Great Lakes region, and they came all the way down. And when they did so, they didn't cross any sea, they just walked. And so everybody knows this is one. What is going to attract people to move into any part of the continent is development and opportunities for growth. So if we now don't realize that we need to be working together so that there are multiple centers of development in the whole continent, then we don't realize that we're putting the strain. People are going to find a lot of South Africans moving out into other parts of the country, of the continent. One day I was flying to Nigeria, and I saw so many South Africans. Hey, I haven't seen you for a long time. I said, I'm busy this side. And so I met one white, I'm saying white specifically because he was quite interesting, this young fellow. He says, no, I've been here in Nigeria for the past 17 years. I say, oh, really? He says, yeah. And what message have you got? He says, well, you must tell the South Africans, our people there. And he said, look, if you are serious about your business in South Africa and you are nowhere in Nigeria, then you're not serious about your business in South Africa. It's not going to grow there unless you begin to look at where the other strengths in the whole African region are. So the point we're making to you, let's broaden the base of industrialists in South Africa and get ready to go and integrate with the rest of the continent. That's the message. And the person here who is responsible for all these agreements, you want to sell grapes somewhere in another country, you want to import tires, you want to import chicken, you want to do it. The agreements, those international, whether it's multilateral or bilateral agreements, are within this department. And this is the minister responsible. And I'm setting him up so that you can ask all the questions you want to. We want to export some grapes. You see, you want to export something, this is the ministry. But what we are trying to say to you, this is your government and it's doing stuff on your behalf. Talk to them. They are here. They will always be there for you. This is the point that we are trying to make. So as part of this conference, what some of the issues you raise here, we move out there and start discussing them as well, because we are about trying to pull everyone together so that we can build this economy to be the best economy for South Africans and for the region. So we hope that you will enjoy this morning and share your views and your ideas and questions. We will answer those that we can, but we'll take some of your suggestions. Thank you very much.